listening to this heaven slice of the major rap this skill. Guys and woes alike, love and pride, look at her vibes. What's the meaning of life? One subjected paradise, Christian and lives, most reflected. Often mirrors as hit, click, ready for it to get. Crank, rain, pin in the flame, close to she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose.
Boom. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. Happy Monday to you guys. I'm just ready for this weather to get warmer. I am tired of the cold. This is the middle of March. We should be, 70 degrees right now, 45, 50 at night. Perfect weather to sit outside by a fire. But no, it's 30 at night, 25 at night. Just stupid 50 during the day. Can't get out on the golf course. Can't hit any golf balls. Can't have any fun. Well, for all those crazy golfers, they're out there. But I do not. I like it a lot, but I do not love it that much where I'm going to get out there and freeze my butt off. That is not happening. That being said, hope everybody's having a great day, staying warm. And then how about those Thunder yesterday beating up on the Phoenix Suns in a packed house? Wish I could have went yesterday, but I could not go. The Thunder, of course, winning 124 to 120, improving to 35 and 36. And the Phoenix Suns falling to 38 and 33. And it's so funny is that I saw the quotes from Josh Giddey said he's never heard it that loud in 2 years. Well, that's because there hasn't been that many people in there. And what we've been saying on this show, and what I've been saying on my after the storm, my Thunder or post game live stream, is that these guys have no idea what the Thunder, what Paycom, what used to be the Thunderdome, and then when it was the Ford Center, it was the Thunderdome, and then it was the Peak, and now it's Paycom. They have no idea what it was like when we were the loudest arena in all of NBA basketball. They have no idea. And I've told you fans, if you will go and you will support these guys. And my guy Mark Long was telling me last night, I saw him after my show last night, and that's Mark Long of SRB. He was telling me last night that, if it hadn't been for a Rumble entertaining the crowd, people would have left because they were disinterested. Then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, here comes the run. Well, it's about who you have in the lineup. And I've said this over and over and over. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. These guys are winning in spite of the coach, not because of. I saw some things they were telling me about what happened on the bench last night, and I've been noticing it. You put certain players in the game, and it's like, what are you doing? The players are looking at the coach. Coaches are like, what are you doing? And I've said this repeatedly. The Lakers are playing 7 guys. Everybody's trying to get to the playoffs are playing 7, 8 guys maximum. No role players. They're playing the best players they could possibly play. That is who's on the court. Thunder, however, you're coming off the bench with G League players right off the bench. Well, what happens? Nothing. You're playing against a team who shoots very well from perimeter, and you don't play your best perimeter defensive player until the fourth quarter. And what happens? Thunder go on a run, and the game's over. Outscoring them 34 to 24. Down 6 going into the fourth quarter. And you're starting Lindy Waters. You're playing Lindy Waters 21 minutes. He is a G League player. Nice kid, good little guy. He is a role player, a 9th, 10th guy at best. But Mr. G League is what I've called him. And our coaches went from 2 minutes too long, which he was doing religiously last year. Waiting 2 minutes, and he does it not as much this year. He waits 2 minutes too long to change lineups. Then somebody told me this year they call him the minutes manager because he's managing minutes, not the game. Now, in the playoff stretch, you're playing G League players over the players that you've been playing that got you there. Now, how in the hell can you play Lindy Waters and Jang in front of a guy who was undefeated He was 6-0 in starting when he was starting with SGA and Josh and Dort and him and Poku before J Dub started coming on. And then before Jay Will, then Poku got hurt, and then Jay Will came on. He's like 8-2 as a starter. But you're going to play a guy who played in the G League all this year in front of a guy who's 8-1, 8-2 as a starter. You're going to play him more minutes than that guy. There's no way in hell you can explain that to me. That's you either, like I've said, there's one of three reasons why this is going on. One, the Thunder have said, hey, we need you to kind of not lose because the players want to win, but you need to kind of make it harder for them to win. A. B, he's either signed for a contract so he can play whatever he wants and he's not worried about the Thunder because they're already bringing him back next year, which is a huge mistake. 2, or 3, he's over his skis. And I don't believe Sam Presti and the Thunder organization is telling him to lose. You can't tell me that. I met Sam. He's a nice guy. I don't see he's very competitive. I don't believe that for 1 second. Now, the second one is he's got a contract. He knows he's coming back so he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, that's possible. But my third one is he's over his skis. And the problem is, playing the people he's playing, you're losing the locker room. And when you lose your players, which he is clearly doing, because when he puts Lindy and Jang in the game, you guys looking at each other like, what is he doing? This is a huge game. Everybody understands this is a playoff run. This is playoff basketball. And my other concern with the Thunder, can SGA make the transition that James Harden could not? James Harden's yet to make the transition from regular season to playoffs. Playoffs, you're not going to go to the line as much. Those little fake, when you go in the line, faking a foul, they're not giving it to you. You've got to earn your points. You got to think, I've got to score. And if I get an N1, great. If not, boom, get down the court. Because what happened in the Nets game cost us 2 points. Why? Or excuse me, Toronto. Why? Key part of the game, he got a guy fouled, but they didn't call it. He's grabbing the referee. Ball goes down the court, they score. I think SGA was very cognizant of that happening. So now what does he do? He gets back. He'll look at the refs and he'll go, they're not going to call it, bro. You have to make the adjustment from regular season to playoffs. They don't call as many fouls. You got to earn your points. And yesterday I saw him make that transition late. At the beginning of the game, he was looking for calls. He wasn't getting them. And all of a sudden, he's like, okay, I'm going to make you make the call. And that's exactly what he did. He made them make the calls. And then he's good, but he went in with the attitude that I'm going to score. And by the way, him and Book put on a show. And the reason why we've lost to Phoenix twice earlier, he wasn't there. Those other guys can't get it done without him. And when you look at the Thunder, and when you look at SGA making that transition, and you look at the rest of the team, and when they've got the right group out there, you can just see the energy. When Aaron Wiggins is out there, you can see the energy of these guys. Because they're like, okay, we got this, let's go. You can just see it. But the coach doesn't. And you can see the other guys. They play 7 guys. The Lakers play 7. The Clippers playing 7. You can go down the line and see how many playing 7, 8 max. We're playing 9, 10, 11. Why? This playoff basketball. Look at where you're at right now. Look at where you're at. Look at what's going on. And you have the opportunity to do something. And you're trying to squander it away because you have no idea what the hell you're doing. You start your starting 5, which is SGA, Josh, J-Dub, the 3-headed monster that we have, that we're creating, or that's manifesting itself before our eyes. Then you have Dort. Then you have J. Will, who you don't play enough. He's leading the league in charges. We don't have an inside presence for a shot blocker. Why not have a guy in there who can take charges and can still shoot the 3? Then you come off the bench with Isaiah Joe, our best 3-point shooter. Then you have our best perimeter defender. That's Wiggins. So all of a sudden, here you go. That's your 7. Then Sarge, when you need to sub for Jay Will, if we need another big body, you put Sarge in there. If he's not doing anything, you snatch him out, we go little. That's your guys. But Lindy Waters and Jang maybe, but he ain't ready. He's not ready yet. But he's your Kendricks Williams. And Robinson Earl, like the guy, love him, but he got hurt. He's not been the same player since. And all you guys got to do is, whether you like what I'm saying or not is irrelevant. Go look for yourself. My job is to teach you, to help you understand basketball and understand sports. That's my job. So go watch how he costs us 6 to 8 points a game because of lineups. And what I mean is, we're either staying stagnant or we're falling behind when he has set lineups. When you make a lineup change, you need to go up, not stay the same. You need to go up, not go down. But you'll see and you watch it, and then all of a sudden Wiggins doesn't play the whole game. You're playing Lindy Waters over, you're starting him. You put him in there in a defensive situation. You're putting Lindy Waters in a defensive situation? Are you serious? And I've said this many times. Basketball is the one sport that you know somebody's better than you. Because you're right there. It's only 5 of you. 5 on 5. You know somebody's better than you. That's why when Golden State, Kevin Durant, Golden State, as great as they were, he went there, he was the best player on the court. Now let me go back and show you this so you can see exactly what I'm saying. Okay? Here was the score from last night. 124-120. The Suns were 15 for 34. 47%. They were 52% at half. 47% from the field. 40 rebounds. 40 pips, points in the paint. 14 turnovers. Oklahoma City 11 for 28. And a big play, I'm going to give our coach some credit. A big, huge play was in the third quarter when he got a challenge with Chris Paul on a foul that was called on Dort. And then Dort responded with a couple threes. The Thunder got running to cut into the lead for us to get down to 90-96 at the end of the third. Great call by him, and I'm going to give him credit when he does something good. Talking about, Mr. G League himself, Coach D. 50% from the field, 44 rebounds, 56 pips. We outscored them 16 points in the paint. A lot of that has to do with SGA, and a lot of that has to do with us moving out the basketball, not settling for threes, but cutting to the basket and making points. Because I can promise you, SGA stays in the paint, so does Josh. And if you move and you cut to the basket, one of them will give you the basketball. And they love to distribute the ball. In fact, SGA and Josh had a nice 2-on-1 break in the lane with a nice alley-oop pass to Josh. And you can see SGA thought, oh, God, I threw it too high. But Josh is long. Love the fact of his length. 16 turnovers to their 14. Way too many of us. I cannot remember the last time we won a game where we had more turnovers than the opposing team. Bench scoring, the Suns outscored us 38-33. When you look at the team stats, here's what I was talking about. Lindy Waters had 7 points. 3 for 7, 1 for 4 from 3. Now, here's my issue with this coach. I believe it was in the second quarter, was it? Was it the second quarter? Yes, it was in the second quarter. We're down 37-46. He takes out Isaiah Joe. At that time, Isaiah Joe was 4 for 5, and he was 2 for 3 from 3. Lindy Waters was 1 for 2, 0 for 1 from 3 with a putback on a rebound. And I was like, you're playing Lindy Waters. You take out Isaiah Joe, who's hot, who just scored our last 9 or whatever, 10 points in a row. You take him out, and you leave a guy in there who hadn't done anything. Once again, he's over his skis. And you can look at this. Gerald Robinson, 5 minutes. Aaron Wiggins, 12 minutes. Played the whole fourth quarter. And that's when we made our jump. Jalen Williams, 21 points. How the heck is Jay Will only playing 21 minutes? 6 rebounds, 10 total points. J-Dub, 28 minutes. He did not have a good game at all. He could not get in the flow of the game at all. It was apparent, but he was playing very good on the defensive end. 10 rebounds, 5 assists. And that's what happens when your offense is not going. You key it up on the defense by getting rebounds and getting steals. SGA, 35 points, 12 for 24. He struggled early and then was magnificent late. He had 2 huge free throws for 40 points. And Devin Booker, of course, went for 47. Josh Giddey, 33 minutes, 7 for 13, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Typical night for Josh. I mean, he was just really, really good. Lou Dort played really well, other than him trying to do more than what he does. But finally he hit some 3-pointers. He was 7-11 from the field, 4 for 6 from three. Finally hit some, including 2 huge free throws at the end to seal the victory. Boy, but anyway, you look at that. You have 5 starters, 33 minutes, 33 minutes, 35 minutes, 28 minutes, 21 minutes. How is one? All your starters should be in 30 minutes. They should. I just I don't understand how your starters are not all in 30 minutes. They all have to play 30 minutes. Then Sarge came out and played 10 minutes. He played pretty decent. Not bad, but that's all I want to see him. Maybe 10 minutes a game. Max. Max. Jeremiah Rossgrove should not be getting off the bench. He is just not the same guy since he got hurt. He was magnificent before that, but since he got hurt, I can't play him because he's not giving me what I need from him. Then you look at Lindy Waters, 23 minutes, 3 for 7, 1 for 4, with 3 rebounds and assists. And I'm just going, dude, how are you doing that? Jang, 8 minutes. Trey Mann, 6 minutes. And it's just frustrating when I look at that. Look how many guys we're playing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You played 12 guys doing a playoff stretch. You're playing 12 guys doing a playoff stretch, trying to get into playoffs. 12. When every other team is playing 8 maximum. 9 to the absolute max, but 7 to 8. We're playing 12. He is over his skis. Over his skis. Now, what does that say? Here's our schedule coming up. Well, here, let me give you where we are all standing right now in the West. The Thunder are now 8th in the West. And I'm going to go over the bracket so you can kind of see if everything started today, who the Thunder would be playing. But here's your deal. The Thunder are in 8th. Look who the Clippers are in 5th. Remember, we played them twice. We played them Tuesday and Thursday. They're 2.5 games ahead of us. 2.5 games ahead of us. And we go to LA to play. Now, how huge are these 2 games? The Mavericks are 1.5 games. 1 game in front of us. The Warriors are half a game in front of us. And remember, if you're in 6th place, you don't have to do a play-in. If you're in 5th place, there is no play-in. So what is this telling you? The Thunder are right there if you can get some sort of coaching that gets to understand. He doesn't clue in. This is playoff basketball. This is not, he's doing this like this is the whole regular season. No, this is playoff basketball right now. The officials are calling it like playoff basketball. Because this is not cutting time. This is at the end. You can't play everybody. You have got to slow down. You've got to cut it off and say, look, this is what we're doing. But this guy doesn't get it. He's playing 12 guys. Still, end of the season, he's playing 12 guys. End of the season. It's just unbelievable. I just don't understand how he can even do that. I really, truly don't understand it. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know how I just don't get it. I just don't. But look at this. Look where the Thunder are. Look at the opportunity they have. We're 1 game, we're 2.5 games out of 5th place, 1 game out of 6th. One game out of 6. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand how you're playing 12 guys. Now, here's the deal. When you're looking at the playoffs, and this is what's important, if it ended today, if the playoffs started today, if the season ended today, this is where the Thunder would be. We would be playing at Golden State, who is unbelievable at home. Now, the advantage we have of being in 8th is that the Timberwolves and the Lakers would play. Then we would have a home game because both of those teams would come play us. So we'd have 1 home game. If we won that, we would be the 8th seed. Now, if we beat Golden State, then we're the 7th seed, and then they have to play the winner. That's how important these next games are. Let me look at that. Right now, you're guaranteed 1 home game in the playoffs. as it stands. Now, what are the odds of us getting there? What do the Thunder have to do in order to make it this so, to get up there? Remember, 2 games out of fifth. You play. Remember when I talked about this when we put the schedule up last week? I said the Thunder have to go 2-1 in the next 3 games, and we did that. We beat the Nets at home, we lost to the Raptors, and we won the Suns at home. And I said that's step number one. Step number two are the next 4 games coming up on the road. This is step two. You play at the Clippers on Tuesday, at the Clippers on Thursday, at the Lakers on Friday. Well, if SGA does not play back-to-backs, and if you're not doing that, then clearly we have to beat the Clippers tonight. You rest SGA on Thursday, and then you play SGA again on Friday. And then you go to Portland, and he'll play in that one. So if you go 2-2 in that stretch, you're probably staying status quo of where you are. But if you go 3-1, and one of those wins, and you beat the Clippers, then you're sitting pretty. Right now, that's moved you up because I gave the Clippers a loss. And remember, the Clippers were 2.5 games. So then that means they'd be 1.5 games ahead of us. And that would move us up past the Warriors if they lose. And the Warriors are playing. The Warriors are probably going to beat Houston tonight. So we'll go over that schedule anyway here in just a second. But you've got to beat the Clippers tomorrow or Thursday. But if you play them Thursday without SGA or with SGA, then the chances of you beating the Lakers without SGA are pretty slim. I mean, it can be done, but yeah, no, not with you playing 12 players. You have got to cut it down to your 7, 8 guys, which is your starting 5. Isaiah Joe off the bench. Aaron Wiggins, your best wing defender. That's 7. Sarge to give him some game time to see what happens. And then, man, if Isaiah Joe is not doing right, then you throw in man. But Lindy Waters, no time. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, no time. None. Can't. You've got to cut your roster down. You're acting like it's the regular season. Hey, we just play everybody. I believe this coach in the playoffs will play 12 guys. And no NBA team plays more than 8. This is playoff time. And he just doesn't get it. Why? Because he's over his skis. So you look at that. Portland Trail Blazers, we should win that on Sunday. Then you come back Tuesday and you go on the road at Charlotte, on the road at Detroit. So over these next 8 games, you got to go 6-2 minimum. 7-1. 7-1. If we go 7-1, you're probably sitting for sure in 6th, if not 5th place, if you go 7-1 over the next 8 games. And then you have the Indiana Pacers at home, which is going to be tough. But you have those 4 games plus those 2, so that's 6. So if we go 5-1, 4-2 at absolute worst over the next 6 games, the Thunder are going to be probably 6th, 7th place. And if we go 6-5 and 6-1, or 6-1, then you're looking at probably for sure 5th place, for sure 6th, if not 5th. So that's what the Thunder is facing. And remember, the Thunder have the 6th easiest schedule left in the NBA. 6th easiest schedule. If the coach understands basketball, if the coach understands lineups, if the coach understands that you can't play 12 guys, if the coach understands that he has to play his starting 5 30 minutes. There's a lot of ifs. A lot of ifs. I just don't believe he can get it done. Now, I've just laid it out right there for you. It's easy for you to see and easy for you to understand exactly what I've laid out. It's not difficult. It's right there for the taking. We're sitting right there. And you can just watch. If you were at the game last night, if you're watching, you just saw once the crowd got into it. And like I've said all the time, if the Thunder get the crowd, these kids don't understand what it's like when that crowd is going crazy. They've never been there. They don't understand. Paycom gets crazy. That place gets loud. The fans are into it. They get it. They will support you. And the fans are coming back. And this is what I'm telling Oklahoma City management. If your Thunder get a playoff game or 2 home games, that's automatic. Boom, tickets and people. It's gonna be backed again. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I couldn't go to the game because the guy who normally spells me on Sundays on the weekends, his dad is probably gonna pass away. So my condolences go out to Tandy and Tonda Foreman because of their father. So he couldn't make it. So I had to, work extra or had to work his shift yesterday. That's why I did not go to the game. But everybody told me the suites were full. The lower level was full. Club level was club level. And people just aren't coming back to club level for whatever, which is my favorite place to watch a game. And then, of course, Loud City was probably 80%. So people are starting to come back. People craving it. So please help this guy. Assistant coaches, get him to understand this is playoff basketball. This is the regular season, but it's not the regular season. This is at the end of the regular season. This is the time when you clamp down on who plays. This is the time you clamp down on giving our giving our players the maximum opportunity to win. And when you playing guys that they know should not be playing, like SGA passing to Waters, he went and got the ball right back right away. Or he'll look at him like, I'm not giving you the ball. All you have to do, people, is open your eyes and pay attention. He's losing his team because of who he's playing. Players know, and we've all been on teams where the coach plays somebody, you're like, what are you doing him? Why is he playing? Or you play where the coach plays the son all the time. You're like, son ain't even one of the best players, and the best player sitting on the bench. How many times does that happen? Take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Collaborative Logic, for keeping me up and running. If you have any needs for computers, or you need some software written to make your office run smoother, or you need a website design, they can do that for you. And then also, if you get in the need for computers, they can do that as well. But the thing I like mostly about them is they can remote in and not have to worry about coming into your office and disrupting things because the computer guy is there. So I love that about it. Mark Long at SRB, if you got engineering, surveying, and planning, he is the guy to talk to there. They do a great job of being behind the scenes, helping the office and everything run smoothly. Oak Grove Trucking, my guy Jose Fierro, if you got any needs for any big, huge rocks or dirt to be moved, he is the guy. And Greg and Max Nafee, of course, sponsoring me and taking care of me as always, sponsoring everything I do, including tons of kids who have now got college scholarships because of their generosity, sponsoring them to make sure they've got individual training because their parents could not afford it. Last but not least, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, member of the FDIC. They're also our sponsor for our remote live streams at Black, minority, and women-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. You can also go in and see them because they are a personal bank, and you can go into the main location, the main bank, and see Joe Horn and Nathan Taylor and Carson Wright, or you can go into the YNB East, which is located off 39th Expressway and the Yukon Parkway, right there on I believe it's the south. Oh, is that the southwest corner? I believe we're just off of that. Mustang or 218 North Mustang Road. They're in the growing metropolis that Mustang is becoming. YNB Parkway right off Garth Brooks and I-40 Boulevard right in front of the hospital that's right there. And then, of course, the bank I always go to is YNB Peoples, which is located on 23rd between MacArthur and Rockwell, which is the bank I go to. So, by all means, go check those guys out. Now, in the NBA's games last night, scores, I don't know how many of you all watched it, but in last night, the Suns lost to, of course, our Thunder, 124-120. The Nuggets beat the Nets 108-102. The Nuggets are still rolling. The Hawks, the Spurs, can't believe the Spurs are winning games. They are not trying to win games. Come on, Hawks, y'all got to be better. Come on, Trey, you got to be better than that. You can't let those guys beat y'all. The Heat beat the Pistons 112-100. The Heat continuing to get their playoff run in order. Pelicans over the Rockets. The Rockets continuing to lose, fighting the Spurs as far as who's going to get the chance to get the most opportunity to get Wembanyama, sorry. The Raptors losing to the Bucks. What a great game that was. I mean, man, I don't know if you saw that, but what a great game that was yesterday. Clippers 117 over the Blazers. The Clippers, of course, won 5 out of their last 6 after going over. They got to seem to have it rolling, and they've got the Russell Westbrook thing figured out. Lakers, huge win. Shout out to Austin Reeves, OU guy, for 35 points last night in the Lakers' victory. Now, tonight's games, Pacers at the Hornets, which does not affect the Thunder. Bulls at the Sixers do not affect the Thunder. The Wolves at the Knicks does. We need the Knicks to handle their business and beat the Timberwolves to give us a little bit more breathing room. And of course, the Rockets and the Warriors. The Warriors have lost 11 straight road games. Yes, I said that out loud. 11 straight road games, which is just unthinkable. But 11 straight, couldn't believe they did that. The Mavs and the Grizzlies, this really, really affects us on both sides. We have the Grizz and the Mavs because the Mavericks are one game in front of us, and the Grizzlies. Where are the Grizzlies? And the Grizzlies are right there. So we've got to have them. We've got to have Memphis is right there, top up there. What is Memphis? Third. So they are tied with the Kings right now. But anyway, the Mavs and Kings. We need the Grizzlies to beat the Mavs tonight because that moves us up one additional slot. And then of course the Kings and the Jazz. We need for the Kings to beat the Jazz, which helps the Thunder out, gives us a little bit more breathing room there between them. But we definitely need, so everybody be cheering for the Grizzlies tonight against the Mavericks because that will move us up. Golden State, if Golden State loses and the Mavericks lose, we are in 6th place. Isn't that crazy? We are in 6th or place or tower, maybe 7th. I think we only move up one because I think that that the Mavericks have the tiebreaker over us in that. But anyway, it'd be great the Thunder be sitting there with a huge win opportunity coming up tomorrow for the Thunder. Oh man, I'm just telling you, I'm so excited for what's happening. So in NFL news, though, man, I tell you, there's been a lot of things going on. Free agency has been an absolute craze thing. The Lions are signing free agents like crazy. Everybody's wanting to go to play for Matt Campbell, it seems like, even though Colin Cowherd, he is a defensive guy. It's about, this offense, defense. If you give me an offensive coordinator, that's what you got to have. And if it's a dear defensive coach, if you get your great offensive coordinator and you have a quarterback, you're going to be fine. The Lions they're making moves. They signed Eagle safety C.J. Gardner Johnson to a 1-year deal for $8 million. Still in him, another guy departs the Eagles. Bears running back David Montgomery, 3 years, $18 million. So now they have depth at running back. They should be really, really good. Then of course Cameron Sutton, they steal from the Steelers, cornerback, 3 years, $33 million. And the Niners quarterback Emmanuel Mosley, if he can stay healthy, they're going to be good. So you got your safety, your whole defensive backfield now is pretty much set. They're in the back. You have an edge rusher. Now all you're missing is some middle line or some linebacker play, but you still should be okay. The Panthers signed Adam Thielen. Of course, the Panthers do have the number 1 overall seed, so they're trying to get their quarterback, whether it is C.J. Stroud, which, man, I just, I don't know. Do you take Bryce Young or do you take C.J. Stroud? I was watching Cowherd and his guy sit there talk about how, you can take Anthony Richardson. Why would you put your first year head coach? Why would you put all your eggs in a basket for a guy who's not going to be ready for a couple of years? Hadn't played enough games. You can't do that. You got to win right now. So I think the Panthers are going to probably take. If it's me, Bryce Young is small, but he's electric. If it's me, I'm taking C.J. Stroud. That's just me. But they did give him a weapon to throw to. The Texans re-signed Laramie Tunsil, their offensive tackle, who everybody thought may or may not have gone to the Chiefs. But no, he stays with the Texans, 3 years, $75 million deal. People are like, why are you going to sign that guy? Well, let me see. You got your wide receiver, or you're going to draft a wide receiver. You're going to get your quarterback. You got to have somebody who can protect him. If that is Bryce Young, then you definitely need a left tackle because Bryce is smaller. You definitely need to make sure his backside is taken care of. So great deal by Texans and D'Amico Ryans by re-signing that monster. Cowboys trade for Brandon Cooks for a fifth and seventh grade. Same deal. They got rid of Amari Cooper. Now the difference is at that time they had Zeke's salary on board, and so that just absolutely killed them. And so they went back and got the same guy. And what Brandon Cooks basically is, I don't think he's quite Amari, but he got so much speed he could get down the field, which should help which should help CD Lamb. Should help him quite a bit, and not for as many double teams. Should allow CD to roam freer if you can get him the basket, get him the football. But of course, Mike McCarthy's saying he's going to rely on the running game. If you're going to do that, you better go get that monster from Texas in the first round. If you're going to do that, you better go get him because I'm just sitting there looking at him with people coming off injury. I just don't know what you're going to get. Lamar Jackson still cracks me up, said no to the 133 3-year deal guaranteed. Who needs an agent? Who needs an agent? You do, bro. You do. Because I don't care who it is. When you're talking about negotiations and you have this team that you've done all this for, and they're telling you what they really feel about you, it cannot be a good thing. It can't be. It just can't be. So over the weekend in the XFL, which I don't know how many of you all watch it, but I do like the XFL a lot. And in the scores, this is over this weekend. The Roughnecks beat the Sea Dragons, which I do like the Roughnecks. I like the XFL. I think that that is something that people should. If you haven't got a chance to watch it, I think you should. If you haven't had a chance to watch the XFL, because I really like watching. I really like what I've seen in that, and I think they need to adopt some of the rules from the XFL. That's just me on what I've seen and what they do. I've really liked it. So, but anyway, the when I look at who's playing who and who's doing what, I look at the standings. Oh, we're gonna do the standings in just a second, but the Houston Roughnecks, of course, lost to the Sea Dragons. If you don't know who that would be the Seattle Sea Dragons, Seattle Sea. Losing, the Roughnecks lost 21-14. The Defenders, which of course is from D.C., God, they've got at least one football team to cheer for there in Washington, beating the Battlehawks St. Louis. St. Louis got them one. They lost the Cardinals, and then they got the Rams, and then lost the Rams. So man, they can't seem to keep a professional team there. So hopefully they'll be able to keep the Battlehawks there. But anyway, the Battlehawks losing to the Defenders 28-20. The Guardians losing to the Vipers 35-32. Saw some highlights from that. It was actually a really good game. Liked what I saw from that because both teams, both of them were winless. So one of the teams had to win. That's why the score was so high. And of course, the Vegas Vipers coming out on top over the Orlando Garden, 35-32. And then of course our Renegades. I'm calling them our Renegades because Coach Stoops, former OU football coach, is the head coach at the Renegades, beating the San Antonio Brahmas 12-10. And so with that being said, this is what the divisions look like at this point. The Renegades are still squarely in second place right now behind the Houston Roughnecks, who are 4-0. The Brahmas are 1-3. The Guardians are 0-4. Of course, I can't even spell that. And I got to go back and respell that correctly. DC Defenders 4-0. The Battlehawks 3-1. So they've got them a team now. If they can just support them and get them, at least they'll have a professional team when that's concerned. Still trying to get an NBA team, which I don't see that happening. Seattle Sea Dragons 2-2, and the Vegas Vipers are 1-4. I messed that up. They are 1-4. They beat the Guardians the other night, so I must not have, when I did my bracket thing, I must not have saved that to get that over there. So anyway, that's XFL news up to this point. And I don't know if you've watched the NCAA this weekend. The women's bracket. This is what the women's bracket. Someone so funny is. When I was at the gym yesterday, somebody goes, "Hey," I was like, "Yeah." They go, "Hey, did South Carolina win?" And I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Well, the game was tight." And we went back and looked at the halftime score. And South Carolina, the game was tight at that point. And of course, they just went ahead and blew them out. So you can see this is what's happening. And this is what's on top. The Sooners, of course, play UCLA tonight. So I'll be watching that. The Lady Sooners are playing tonight. So I'll be watching that to see if they can beat the UCLA Lady Bruins. We shall see what's going to happen with that. Of course, I'm going to take OU over the Bruins. I think it's going to be a tight game, so we shall see what's going to happen. I think it could go either way, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Sooners over the UCLA Bruins and to play South Carolina, which I don't know how good that is for either one of them to go for the Elite Eight to go into, the Sweet 16. So we shall see what's going to happen with that. And then one of those teams will go into the Elite Eight and then to the Final Four. Anyway, you can see these brackets. I'll start watching it tonight because I usually don't start watching it until it gets to the Sweet 16. That's when I start watching women's basketball. I usually don't watch it when it's at the beginning. Because too many up and downs with teams, I just really don't start watching it until the Sweet 16. But I will watch OU tonight and UCLA. But other than that, I really don't watch a lot of women's basketball. And like I said, until it gets to the Sweet 16. Now in the men's bracket, I've just not been interested. I don't know why I'm not interested in it. I just haven't. And my guy Ben Dillman and Drew Hinthorn, both of those guys have been because they're bigger bettors than I am, so they tend to watch a little bit more than I did. But anyway, Bama is going to be interesting against San Diego State. That's going to be a great game, I think, in the first round of the Elite Eight. Creighton doing everything they're supposed to have done, even though Baylor and them, I had Baylor beating them. My bad, Stevie Alexander III, Trey. My bad for not taking your team and not having confidence in y'all. You guys played great. And then Princeton is doing what Princeton does. But of course, that screwed up my bracket because I had neither one of these teams in my Elite Eight. So one of these teams will make it to the Final Four. Actually, yeah, we'll make it to the Final Four. Possibly to the Final Four. I think one of them will get beat by Bama. So it's unbelievable. I just look at it, I'm like, what the hell is this stuff? What the hell is this? When I look at this, I'm going, I don't even know what these brackets are. Then on the other side, I've got Houston doing their business and then Texas doing their business. So I'm liking what I'm seeing when it talks to the brackets and what's happening there. Of course, we only have, when I look at it, I'm just going, it's just frustrating to me. It just really, truly is frustrating when I look at these brackets and look at this because, Creighton and Princeton, I hope they get there. Xavier, I had that side. Texas, we had that. Houston, and we had Miami that. So my side is good over there. I had San Diego State on the other side, but I actually had them losing to Virginia in one bracket, and I had them winning in another bracket. So that's kind of my bracket. I have not, like I said, I haven't really been that up on it because for whatever reason, I'm just not interested. I'm still probably mad because OSU didn't get in, so maybe that has a little bit to do with my unhappiness with the NCAA and not watching it. And plus, nowadays it's just anybody can win. It's just so wide open. That's why ratings are down. People are just like, okay, we don't have any of the teams we don't see these superstar players anymore. And somebody was watching something about Timmy, the guy from Gonzaga, and I'm like, dude, he's typical Gonzaga. Gonzaga players, the big guys, the forwards, the center, they can't play in the league. You have a couple guys here and there, but for the most part, the guys that they talk about on the reg can't make it. It's just like with the Thunder next year. The Thunder are coming back with the three-headed monster plus Dort, and then, of course, we got Chet. So we'll see what that does, whether he's there or not. Because you got to remember, at the beginning of the year, the Thunder were over and under was 26.5 wins with Chet. Without Chet, it was 23.5. I predicted 33. With the maximum, if we played as great as I possibly think we could play, we would get 40. And everybody laughed at me on that clip. And I think I'm going to go back and try to find it, but it is on that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to find it on my YouTube channel. You can search the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark, hit subscribe, like, notification button, or you can do, in fact, let me pull that up so you guys can see this. Or you can do After the Storm, the Oklahoma City Thunder post-game analysis. So you search After the Storm, OKC Thunder, that will pop up, or the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark, it will pop up. You can also go, if you don't have YouTube, if you're older and you're not a YouTube person, you can search the mcsportsnetwork.com. You can go to that, and all the shows are right there for you to look up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go search After the Storm on my YouTube channel and search for it and find it. And when I find it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that clip of me saying what I said about the Thunder when everybody laughed. We were at Cutting Up Barbershop and Salon. By the way, thank you, YNB, for your support on that. But anyway, we were at Cutting Up Barbershop and Salon doing the preseason when the schedule came out, and I predicted what the Thunder would be. And I'm just telling you right now, everybody thought it was crazy. But what I saw last year from the Thunder, when I saw SGA flip that switch, then I saw Josh Giddey starting to flip that switch. I was like, okay, that's it. Because what did I say? One, SGA has to average high 20s. Josh needs to average, 18, 20 points a game. I prefer him in the 20s consistently. Dort to be your third scorer instead of your second scorer. Did not see J-Dub coming at all. So now my revised thing, you had to have SGA doing his 28 to 30. You got to have Josh in the high 18s, 19s. J-Dub 18, 19. Either one of them being my second leading scorer. I would prefer it to be Josh at 20 and J-Dub at 18, and then Dort coming in there at 12 or whatever. And then because I think Chet is 12 to 14 because without Josh, they're going to have him on the court with Josh. Because SGA and them aren't going to give him the ball the way Josh is going to give him the ball. I can promise you. It's just not going to happen. So, Randy Wright just sent me a text saying he knows that I am crazy. Yeah. But anyway, I predicted that, and where are the Thunder now in victories? 35. So we're 5 games away from getting 40 wins with 10 games or 12 games to go. How many games? Let's go back and count how many games the Thunder have left. Randy Wright, yeah, I'm getting ready to bust you up on this. Let me see, where is it at? Thunder schedule. I need to take this in so that my guys, so so I can just push a button and go right. Then I'm certain that way I'm not going through here trying to find Thunder schedules and things like that. It'll just pop up. Thunder schedule. Here we go. We have, let me see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 11 games left. So we have 11 games to win. And I think that if we go by the way I've said over the next 6, that's at least 4 right there. So we would need one victory between Indiana, Phoenix, Golden State at home, Utah at home, and Memphis on the road. And it depends on where Memphis is sitting at that particular point on what's going to happen with that. So there you go, Randy. That's my breakdown. Thank you, Randy Wright, YNB, President YNB. So, but anyway, that being said, I hope everybody's enjoying what I'm saying in the show. And remember, tomorrow we'll be back again with the Unpopular Hour. And tomorrow night, remember the huge game for the Thunder at LA, the Clippers, round 1. And then we play them again on Thursday. So I'll have the odds, and we'll have a breakdown of the game for you tomorrow on the Unpopular Hour for the show. And remember, tomorrow night, we will be doing After the Storm. So if you had a chance to look in, you can check me out on Facebook if you're already a Facebook friend of mine, or they can just go ahead and search it and it will pop up. Or you can go to YouTube, search After the Storm, OKC Thunder. It will pop up. And all you got to do is hit the subscribe, like, and notification button, and it will pop up every time we come live. You'll be able to get it on YouTube. And then opposite that, like I said, you can also just go ahead and just be my friend on Facebook, and it will pop up and say Matt Clark is live. As you well know, if they're not a friend, then hopefully they have subscribed already to our YouTube channel and get it that way. So that being said, everybody have a fantastic